Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope you're doing all good today. Welcome back to another session of the Ladies in Tech Africa Bootcamp. Welcome, everyone. It's been a while. Um, you're welcome. So today, I will be walking you all through a new topic, which will be creating engaging social media content. Before I jump right into that, um, the assignment I gave the last time, I received a couple of submissions, and I have spoken to the teaching assistants, and they are going to extend the deadlines. So they are going to extend the deadline basically, but for now, I will review some of the submissions that I received. So I ensured that the instructions were clear, so that you really get to do this. And one of the reasons why you are doing this is for you to gain real life experience, because this page you need a real life experience. So you actually need real life experience in order for you to um, hone these skills and get to implement it. It's very important. So what I'm going to be doing right here is I'm going to walk you through some of your submissions. And despite we have opened the room for submission, it's very important that you really understand how this thing works and how you can actually create yours if you want to help a business recreating a social media or a content strategy rather. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through some amazing submission that I received and some really, well, I use the word crappy submissions because there are some submissions that you didn't really follow my instruction and whatnot. So the looking at everything, I just thought it was important I reviewed. So I'm going to share my screen, so I can walk you through some of the submissions that I received. So first of all, let me gain access to the questions. Just give me a minute. Let me gain access to the questions. So we can have a recap of the questions and the submissions, basically. Good evening to everyone. I'm seeing your messages. Uh, okay, this is not the right question. Please, guys, just give me a minute so I can actually pull this out. Uh, okay, so I'll be sharing my screen right away so I can walk you through the question that I asked. I believe you can see my screen right here, and looking at the objectives here, it says the goal of this assignment is to apply the principles and strategies learned from the content strategy and planning to develop a comprehensive content strategy for a fictional or real organization. So these here are the instructions. What I noticed is that a couple of people did not follow my instruction. So here for organization, choose a fictional or real organization or business that you are familiar with. Provide a brief overview of the organization, include its industry, target audience, and key objectives. Now, this here is a question, and I realized that a couple of people did not really answer this. Some people, I just saw a screenshot of I saw a screenshot of the Trello environment, which didn't really depict the question here. And here it says to define the primary content goal and objective for the organization, the content calendar, the content types, the publishing schedules, everything here. So I'm going to also show you some submissions I received so you can have a look. So just to be sure, I believe you can all see my screen, yeah? Can you see my screen, please? I want to see, please indicate on the comment section if you can see my screen. I just wanted to be sure that you are. Okay, very well. I will move along. Okay, great. So good. These are some of the submissions that I received. It's quite small, because I just want to have a general overview of everything. So for this person, there's an overview. There is the content goal. So this person actually did a great job. And here is a Loom video. I'm yet to watch this. Okay, I think this is the one I'm actually going to review. I think I have it open here, so I can walk you through what this person did and why I really love what this person did, because she actually followed the rule. I think this person also did an amazing job. There was someone, so this person has a Loom video as well. I think for that person, she actually videoed her face, probably because she couldn't really get this person doesn't have a Loom video. That's what I'm looking for. Now look at what this person submitted. This person literally submitted a blank canvas for me. This is what this person submitted as an assignment. Blog post. I don't know who this is, but this is not what I would ask you to do. So why I'm reviewing this is so that we can have a look. Okay, it's important that you know how to implement this, because going into the space, no one is going to come help you. You need to have actual experience in order for you to get this done. So this is something I saw and it really broke my heart. Um, let's have a look once more to see other submissions. Now for this person, I don't know who this is, but this is what I could see. Just a page. This is what I could see. Just a page, as you can see. I can't even scroll. Okay, I think this person submitted did everything. I think I'm seeing multiple submissions here. That's by the way, but then you're supposed to have everything on a single document actually. You're supposed to have everything on a single document. Now for this person, this is what this person submitted. Health Guard International, content goals and objective. And then I can see a Trello board, and that's basically it. Okay. Yeah, this is what this person submitted. Just this, which doesn't really reflect what I requested you to do. Um, let's see. Okay, this is taking a lot of time to load. Now this person submitted a screen for me. Um, person submitted a Trello board and used his or her phone to capture it. The reason why I requested for you to use Loom is so that you can give me an interactive view of what you did, because that's the essence of using Loom. So you get to experience how you can use Loom to better communicate. It's very important. Your presentation matters, because if you want to win clients, you want to get people who will. Now this looks really, really nice. This looks really nice. Look at how this person actually structured um, the assignment. It's really, really structured. So this is nice. So if you were part of the people that just screenshotted the canvas of Trello and sent it here, please, that's not what I requested. That's not what I requested. Now, just like this person, okay, I think it's how it's been arranged. Now this is also good. The Loom video, I haven't watched it, but because of some of the things I saw, I thought it was important that I review it on the class right here. And there was one I saw, and everything just looked really, really scattered. Everything looks really scattered. Now I don't know who this is, if this is a mistake, but this is someone submitting my notes. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, this person worked with a mobile phone, but still, yeah, this is not descriptive enough. Okay, because look at how your arrangement is. It's not descriptive enough. So I'm going to be reviewing uh, link for Loom, quick share. Da, 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 da. So this person used the manual calendar. Now, I'm not going to take a lot of time reviewing this. I will just walk you through one of the submission I received from a student. And now look at, okay, uh, I think this person submitted all of these things individually, but it's supposed to be combined on a document. Then you send it. That's how your assignment should be. PDF. Now I'm going to review this one right here on the class. I just saw this and I watched it randomly and it looks really good. So you can have an overview of what this person did. Now, this is the overview of the organization like I requested, the content goals, their content calendar, the theme for the first 3 months, the sample content ideas, videos, reflection, and this is the board, okay, that this person created. And this is the Loom video. So I want us to watch this Loom video together. So you see how this person presented, and this is what I actually expected a lot of you to do. This is what I expected a lot of you to do. So let's watch this video and see how um, this student presented her work. So if you haven't used Loom before on the system, this is what Loom looks like. So we're going to watch this video from the starting, and then I'll just try and walk through it very fast. So this is what they so this is what she's doing. She basically walked us through her process, how she intends to implement this content calendar for this business. And moving forward, I think down to this point, I don't want to, I don't want us to look through every single bit of the content, but I hope you understand what I mean. And here, and this is what she did. She was able to walk me through, how she structured her content calendar and how she is currently planning the content that is to be shared across all channels. Now this here, if you did your assignment this way or your practical session this way, it actually helps you to understand how these two work, and you can basically create a proposal for a business. And okay, yeah, I want to help you and plan your content. I realize that your content isn't well structured. It can help you plan and structure out your content and ensure that you are able to hit specific goals in your business. Now, what is it you want to achieve? Do you want to achieve more engagement? I can build out a content strategy that would not only educate your audience but also help them to gain value. And you can basically create a presentation this way and send it over to the person. The person already has an overview of what you intend to do and a content calendar on how you have actually structured everything. Now, this will not only help you stand out, it's really going to better your chance of getting that opportunity because it's well structured. It is well structured. So it's very important that you heed instructions and do as expected. So I'm going to head over to. So I just wanted to show you this so you can see how this person did hers. I think I saw a video from someone who basically recorded just her face while she was explaining everything. I think that is nice, and it shows that she actually gave in effort to do it. So even though she didn't really share her screen, because I noticed that she was on mobile, but she actually took out time to explain um, what she did, her content planned, and how she intends to implement it. Now this is someone who actually took initiative and wanted to do this assignment. So let me see if I can find that submission here as well. So let me see if it's this one. So even though she wasn't able to probably get this on her mobile phone, so even though she wasn't able to get this on a computer system, but she was still able to she was still able to explain her project using her cell phone and basically explain what she did. So this is it. I'm not going to play it, but then you see what she did. She basically just recorded it. So this is what I was talking about when I said you should create a Loom video. And now for this student, she now has an idea on how to use Loom and how she can use it to better present a project when there's a need to do so. So this is just a quick review on the assignment. A quick review on the assignment. So this is just a quick review on the assignment, basically. And yeah, so having said that, we're going to jump into the lesson for today. So for those who haven't completed theirs and for those who didn't really stick to the instruction, please, it's very important that you head over to the, the questions once more and do it because it is actually for your own good. It's for your good. So without further ado, like I said, we're going to be looking at creating engaging social media content. So I'll share my screen right away so we can comment. Thank you for your submissions, guys. Thank you for those who actually gave in the work. Thank you very much. So without further ado, let's get right into the session. So today we'll be looking at creating engaging social media content. So let's take a look at what we have here. Engaging social media content refers to posts, videos, images, or any form of content that successfully capture the attention of your audience and encourage them to interact. This interaction can be in the form of likes, comments, shares, clicks, or even starting conversation. Engaging content sparks a connection between the creator or brand and the audience, creating a sense of community, loyalty, and often driving further action such as website visits or purchases. Now, basically, what this is basically telling us about is how you can leverage engaging content, okay? And here it says engaging content can be in form of videos, it can be in form of images, it can be basically in form of any multimedia that you can use to communicate with your audience. Now, when we spoke about building a content calendar, we spoke about different kinds of content that you can share, and you can still leverage that as well when it comes to creating engaging social media content. Now, for key characteristics of an engaging social media content. Now, what are the things that your content needs to have? Can you see my can you see my screen? Please indicate if you can see my screen. Okay, let me share it once more. Uh, how about now? Can you see my screen right now? Uh, Let me get confirmation from the kitchen assistant. Can you see my screen right now? Uh, okay, someone said yes. Okay, I think I'll share it once more. All right, great, great, great. So we were talking about the key characteristics of engaging social media content. So one of the characteristics is your content needs to be audience centric. Engaging content is tailored to the interests, needs, and pain points of your audience. It reflects their preferences and communicates in a tone that resonates with them. It isn't about pushing out random messages, but about providing content that adds value or entertains. Now, when we're talking about audience centric, so you need to understand what industry that you are in. So if you are in let's say in medical industry, you need to understand how you want to communicate with your audience. If you are in entertainment industry, you need to understand how you can communicate with your audience or how best to communicate with your audience. So this will make you aware of your audience and basically understand how best to communicate with them. So you need to ensure that your content is audience centric. It is basically focused on your audience. That way you'll be able to drive relevant engagement on your content. Now, visually appealing. Now, this is something that I believe you are all familiar with, so I'll just run through it as um, as swiftly as I can. So here, visually appealing. Social media is a highly visual medium. Eye-catching videos, eye-catching images, colorful graphics, and high-quality videos help draw attention in the crowded space of social feeds. Visuals enhance the storytelling experience and make content more shareable. So you need to ensure that the content that you're sharing is visually appealing. So when you go to social media accounts, like when you access a social media page, you need to make sure that your content is visually appealing. You stick to the brand guide, the color guides, the color palette, just to ensure that your content is very clear. Ensure that the images used are not pixelated, because once they are pixelated, when I mean pixelated, is that when someone is seeing that picture, they cannot really see the actual image because it's a bit blurry. So you should avoid any form of pixelated images. And now here, ensure it's interactive. Content that prompts user to engage directly through comments, likes, shares, or participating in polls or quizzes builds a sense of connection. Questions, call to action, prompts, or live stream that engages real-time interactions are great ways to boost engagement. Now, being interactive, you're basically showing your community or your customers that you are human. And people tend to do business with people who are more human, because instead of just sharing instead of just basically making your content, making it look so formal all of the time. Even though it is formal, you still want to make sure that it is interactive. People are able to perceive that there are people at the back end of this business, and they can feel that connection. So it's important that you ensure that your content is interactive. So you can post polls, or you can ask a question about your product, and get your audience or your customers to respond. So let's say you sell a snack and you have two variations, or you sell a carbonated drink and you have two variations of that drink. You can basically run a poll just to be interactive. How best do you enjoy, let's say, your Five Alive, or how best do you enjoy this product? So that way you are building interactions. Okay, so these are ways you can basically get people to talk about your product and get to show how they are enjoying your product. So relevant and timely. To be engaging, content must also be relevant to the current moment. This could mean tapping into trending topics, using popular hashtags, or reacting to current events that are important to your audience. Now, this is a a tricky one because there are at the moment a lot of things might be trending, but if it's not well suited to your brand, it doesn't align with your brand, you should not use it. Okay, so you only stick with trends that aligns with your brand, and you can use that to stay relevant and also to prompt more engagement. Emotional appeal, whether it's humor, inspiration, or empathy, emotionally resonate content tends to perform better on social media. People are more likely to engage with content that triggers an emotional response. So now there are different forms of content that triggers emotional response. So it could be some form of motivational post, that people would really want to associate, or people really agree with it. And once you share that, you release with your brand, you get to see people who will engage with it. So if it's something that is motivational, it's inspirational, these are kinds of content, that are engaging. And if you can share this form of content, you get to see a lot of people engaging with your content. So you see businesses go out for certain form of outreach. So they might go out and they want to help certain people in their community. Now, these are emotional kind of content. They appeal to people. People see these things and they are happy and they are proud to associate themselves with the brand. So it's something that, if you have that and you can share that as part of your content strategy, it's actually great. You get your content across to a lot of people, and you get them to see the value that you are actually offering to your community in general. Now, why is engaging social media content important? So it's important because it helps you build relationship. Engaging content fosters meaningful interactions, allowing brands to build relationship with their followers. This can lead to greater brand loyalty and advocacy over time. Now, let's talk about some personal brands. So you are on a social media platform like Instagram. I believe there are some influencers in different niches that you are familiar with, based on the form of content they share and how they have been able to educate their community basically. So as a business, you find a way to build that relationship with your audience, okay? So you could have someone from your team who would basically, create content regularly. And when people see that person, if they feel like they already know who they actually feel like they have a relationship with whoever is creating your content. So this is really specific among personal brands. Yeah, so they feel like they already have a connection, a relationship with that person, because over time, as a personal brand, you have been able to create valuable content, you have been able to educate people, you have been able to build brand loyalty. So I'll give you an example of an influencer that I actually appreciate his content. So he shares health based content, so which is apropos doctor. I believe you have seen his content in one way or the other on probably Instagram, on LinkedIn also. Now that's an example of building relationships. So if you are conversant with his videos and his form of content, you haven't met him before, but you feel like you actually know him because he has built this relationship with his community. Now, as a brand or as a business, you can create that personal relationship with your customers or with your audience. It actually helps to increase engagement. Boost visibility. Platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn prioritize content that gets high engagement. This means that the more likes, comment, and shares your post gets, the more likely it is to be shown to a wider audience. So basically, um, engaging social media content helps you to it actually boosts your visibility. So how the algorithm works in some of these social media platforms is once they notice that you share a certain post and over time people are engaging with that post, it tells the algorithm something that your content is valuable, your content is important. And what they'll do is they'll get to share your content to more people because the algorithm basically wants you to be online. They want you to consume more content. They want you to spend time on their platform. You get to see ads, they make money. And when they realize that your content is keeping people on their platform, they get to share it. Okay. And if you understand, if you are searching for a particular product or you are consuming certain form of content, especially on Instagram, you realize that the algorithm keeps showing you more content that are focused around that niche. Now, this is because the algorithm understands what your interest is, and they want to actually keep you in the platform. So your content as a brand will reach out to more people who have over time shown interest in products that are similar to yours, or in brands that are similar to yours. So for me, I engage with a lot of marketing content because of what I do. And whenever I am actually on Instagram, whenever I am scrolling, I get to see a lot of videos from marketers, from marketing experts on how to sell, how to close, because this is the kind of content I consume regularly. So it drives conversion. Engagement is often the first step in a customer's journey. By keeping your audience interested, they are more likely to trust your brand and eventually convert into paying customers or loyal customers. Now, creating engaging content helps you to do this. So even though it doesn't happen at once, it helps to pull your leads or your audience down your sales pipeline. So there's something called so basically your content helps you to help your audience to develop certain desires for your product. So depending on how you advertise your product. So if you are in the fashion brand, you are able to share more images of what you do, your process, how you are able to achieve the quality of work that you present to your clients. You are now able to build interest. People now get to like your process because of the see how streamlined it is. Now you are basically pulling attention. Moving that, you're going to increase their interest. So there's something called IDA, so which is attention, interest. Then moving down the funnel, there is now the awareness and where they get to take action basically. So with your content, you're able to drive conversion, and then you drive people to the final point in your funnel where they will take action. So create a community. Engaging content builds a sense of community around your brand. When your audience feels connected, they are more likely to stay loyal and spread the word to others. So a community now, if you're a brand and you are sharing certain form of content, what that helps you do, it helps you to establish an authority and you grow a community. Now, if you look at brands like Apple, they have more like a community, where you see people who basically cherish their product and get to use it regularly. There are also other brands that have been able to build community because of how they have been able to engage with their audience over time. Now, let's take a look at some examples of engaging content, social media content. So the first one is user generated content, UGC. Sharing content created by your audience, like customer reviews, photos, or testimonial, encourages interaction and shows appreciation to your community. Now, this is one of the best form of engaging content to share as a business, because what this is, it has a higher conversion rate. Okay, because it's a lot more easier for your target audience to want to listen to an honest review from someone, because basically, if they are experiencing a similar problem, they feel like they are just a step away from getting their a solution, because now they are seeing someone at the other end who has used either your product or your service, and who is now sharing an honest review on how great your product is. Now, this is very important. So if you are a fashion brand and then you get someone who purchase your product, you can share their picture, get them to make a review, or get to share, how they are rocking these outfits. Now, what this does is it actually creates desire. It creates a lot of desire for your product, because now your audience are now getting to see people that are like them engaging with your product, and they can see and they can basically feel the satisfaction derived by a past customer, which is going to prompt them to basically want to take action and also patronize your business as well. So user generated content is is really really important. It drives a lot of conversion basically, because it offers this validation to the features and how effective the product or its service is. Now, polls and quizzes. So interactive content like polls, Quizzes or surveys let users share their opinion and engage directly with the brand. So as a fashion brand, let's say you are a male fashion designer, you can basically, interact with your community. You can run polls, you can run certain form of quizzes, you can ask questions like how well do you rock your your agbada, which cap do you use? Now these are interactive questions. You can actually share pictures of people working in different ways, and you get people to share their opinion how well they have worked this. They can share images. You are basically building interaction with your community using quizzes, which actually helps to build engagement and foster customer loyalty. Now, video and live streams. Video content is highly engaging, especially live streams, which allows for real life interaction between you and your audience. Now, this is self explanatory, just like I showed you the assignment that one of the students did. She literally created a video and walking us through her process, making it easy for us to understand and get to see the points that she is literally trying to drive. So using videos and live stream is really, really important. So you can hold webinars where you are talking about certain topic or certain things in your niche that needs to be addressed. Where you have a lot of people asking questions about it. So you can use this medium to create engaging content. So storytelling posts, sharing stories that reflect your brand values or a customer success story can inspire and connect with your audience on an emotional level. Now, storytelling is it's a wonderful marketing strategy, okay? Because a lot of people now you can now there are actually stats to prove that people engage more with stories, okay? So some people might attend certain lectures and the speaker talks about the topic and illustrates with a story. They are more likely to remember that story than basically remembering every single thing that was talked about. So because people connect more with stories. So in as a fashion designer, basically you can share stories on how your customers are able to prepare with your product, attend their wedding, how they feel when using your product, the satisfaction they derive. Now, this is you using storytelling to share, to engage with your audience. There are different ways you can use storytelling. So you just have to be creative with this and get to engage with your customers basically. Now, steps in creating engaging social media content. Now, if you want to create your social media content, you want to make it engaging basically. So there are quite a number of steps that you should look at. So first, you need to define your objective. Now, what is your objective? Now, it says before creating any content, it's essential to know why you are posting. Setting clear objectives helps guide your content creation process. So here it increases brand awareness. So if you want to increase brand awareness, so you have to create content that exposes your brand to a broader audience. So if your plan is to increase brand awareness, you would have to basically create content that is tailored towards getting people informed about your brand and what you do. So if you want to generate leads or sales, you focus on content that educates, builds trust, and moves potential customers closer to a conversion. Now, this is a gradual process. Once your content is tailored towards sales, you're sharing value, you're asking people to buy, you have a price tag. All of this. It takes time, but as you keep doing this, people get to trust you over time, and it gets to a point where they'll finally take that action to buy. So it's basically a process. So you need to make sure that your content is structured towards educating people, telling them about your product, telling them how the value that they are going to derive from your product. Because most of the time, if you want to sell your product based on price, you might have a lot of people who would not want to take action, because you are pricing your product based on the wrong criteria. If you price your product or your service based on value, people get to look at the value that they are going to derive and what that value means to them instead of the price. So build Community and engagement. Post content that encourage interaction through comments, likes, and shares. We have spoken about this. Customer support and retention. Provide valuable tips or respond to common customer questions. I can't overemphasize on this. For a business that has good customer support, they generally tend to do well because they are addressing the needs of their customers. Okay, your customers are the are basically sustaining your business. So you need to pay keen attention to your customers. You need to ensure you listen to them, answer their questions, and these are ways that you can increase customer retention and also get your brand to a lot of people. There are people who are still with a certain brand because of how swift their customer support is, and they have been using that particular aspect of their business as a selling point, using the fact that this business has great support, and they have used this to actually promote their business a lot because people who need help, especially when it comes to getting help online, want to ensure that they can get this fast. And if as a business you prioritize customer support, it's a great way to basically engage with your audience and retain them. So the first one here is define your objective. So what do you want to do? And then the next one is to know your audience. We have spoken about this. To create engaging content, you must understand your audience's needs, preferences, and behaviors. So we have demography, psychographics, and their platform preference. Now, if you are a business that have a couple of products, you need to understand which of your product or services who it appeals to. If you are able to determine who it appeals to among your customer segments, you can now basically tailor your content to reach out that to that segment. So let's say you are as a fashion brand, you focus on both male and female dresses. So and you want to capture a whole lot of female customers. So you can now create. So if you want to, like I said, capture your female customers, what you'll be looking at is you create content around female dresses because now you want to appeal to your female customers. Okay, so now this is you understanding the different facets in your audience and then tailoring your content towards this segment in your audience. Now, here is also their the, the platform of preference. Now, if you have been able to identify your audience, you know what platform is best for you to, get a lot of engagement. So you have to leverage that platform. The next one here is content format preferences. Now, you need to understand how they want their content to be delivered. Do they prefer video, images, infographics, or long form content? So now you need to understand, okay, what form of content that you need to share. The next one here is use analytics tools like Facebook Insight, Instagram Analytics to gather audiences data, which is very important, and that's one of the things that makes marketing online a lot more interesting because you can gain insights into how your marketing or how your content is performing. Use analytics tools like Facebook Insight Analytica, we've spoken about this. Conduct surveys or use social listening tools to learn about your audience's preference. Now, this is self-explanatory. Depending on what you do, you can run a survey, you can run a poll, and get people to respond. That way, you have gained a lot more insight into what your customer actually needs. Choosing the right platforms. Each social media platform has a unique audience, tune, and content style. Tailoring your content to each platform is essential for engagement. TikTok and Instagram, visual heavy content like photos, stories, and short form videos. So you want to ensure that you are choosing the right platform to get your content out. So if you are creating short form content, you want to get this content on either Facebook, on either Instagram or TikTok. But if you have a long form content you want to create, you can now look at sharing this content on channels like YouTube. So let's take a look at what we have here. So it says for Instagram and TikTok, it actually visually heavy content like photos, stories, and short form videos. And then for Facebook, we have longer posts, stories, and live videos for community engagement. So you can also have groups where you can share your content on groups and basically get your group members to engage with it. Now for LinkedIn, professional industry specific content like articles, case studies, and thought leadership. So if you are a professional, if you are a business and you deal more with formal based, you deal more with B2B brands, okay? And even if you deal with B2C brands, it's still important that you determine what platform, if it's LinkedIn, that will be best for you to share your case studies, because there you are connected with other professionals who are likely going to be potential customers. So you need to, know what form of content you should be sharing on a social media platform like LinkedIn. For Twitter, we're looking at short conversational posts, great for real-time updates. Yeah, this is actually self-explanatory. If you use YouTube, you get to understand what this. If you use Twitter rather, you get to understand what this means. Now, for YouTube, you want to share your long-form videos or for tutorials, interviews, and explainer videos on YouTube. Now, for action, you want to focus on platforms that aligns with your target audience. It's very important. Research platforms algorithm to optimize content for each social media site. Now you want to research, the platform, get to understand how the algorithm works because it changes. So you need to basically keep up with industry trends to understand how well to present your content. For here we have content planning and strategy. Now create a content calendar that aligns what your marketing objective and audience behavior. A well thought out plan ensures consistency and saves time. Now this is a content calendar, which is something that we actually spoke about. Now moving down to the next line, we have content teams. Create recurring teams, e.g., example motivational Monday, Tuesday tips and whatnot. So you can basically use your content calendar to plan and structure up your content. Now this is basically very easy. Balance content type. Aim for a mix of informative, promotional, and entertaining content. Use the 20/80 rule: 80 value-based content and 20 promotional content. Now this is very important. In as much as you want to sell to people, you need to actually offer value because people would get to purchase from your business if you are offering real-time value. So instead of focusing on trying to sell, bombard people to buy, focus on creating value based based content, and you can request for a sale in a subtle way. You can request for a sale. You can request for a sale in a very subtle way. Now, this is something that businesses do. Key dates include relevant holidays, industry events, or company milestones. Now, this is a great way to stay relevant because you want to ensure that you are sharing content that in a timely manner. So if it's if it's Independence Day, if it's any national holiday, if it's any celebration, if it's any religious based celebration and it captures a lot of your audience, you want to make sure that you are there to serve your audience, so they can relate with your content, they can actually share it out with a lot of people. It's very important that all of these things are in place. Use tools like Trello, Google Sheets, or Buffer to create and manage your content calendar. Yeah, you're familiar with Trello, which is great. Now set frequency and timing based on audience engagement data. Now these tools gives you insight on how your previous content has been performing. So if you get a lot of engagement while you share content in the morning, you can stick to that sending frequency. If you get a lot of engagement in the afternoon, you can also stick to that as well. Now create visually appealing content. Now this is a big deal because on the internet today you need to make sure that your Content is visually appealing, it's interesting to drive engagement. So you need to basically get someone who is really great at visual design on your team, or over time you can actually build that you can build up that skill set as well. Visual content is essential for capturing attention on social media. Make sure your content is eye-catching and aligns with your brand. Now, we use graphic and photo tools. Use high-quality images. Avoid cluttered visuals. Consistent branding. Use your brand color scheme, font, and logo to maintain consistency. I spoke about this, how it's very important for you to maintain your consistency when you are sharing images. Ensure that every image on your profile follows a certain it actually follows a certain color palette. So when someone sees your profile, they can basically tell what you do and they can feel this consistency because it's very, very important. Now, if they get to your website, they get to any of your account, they can see this consistency basically. Um, Now, infographics and data visualization present complex information in easy to digest formats. Now, if it requires you to share infographics based on what you do, you basically you carried out a report and you want to share the results. You can basically do this using infographics and data visualization, so people can get a summarized view of probably it could be your report or it could be your research paper. So it's very important if you can share this form of data. Now, if you remember, um, during the times of during during the election period, you get to see where the commission that is responsible for organizing the election. You get to see where they share some infographics that is summarized. So instead of sharing those little details, they basically sum up everything and then share you a summarized version of it in form of an infographic, so you can easily look through, get a hold of the numbers and digest it. So now that's a point, or that's how you can use infographics if you get to that point. So video-based content, video content gets higher engagement. Utilize short form videos for Instagram and TikTok, and long term for YouTube. Now you want to ensure that your videos are crystal clear. You have a good camera, good lighting to ensure that your videos are crystal clear, because it helps you to portray the image, or it helps you to basically stay in the lights that you want to be seeing, which is very important. Now for action, use design tools like Canva, Adobe Spark, Figma to create branded content. So far, so good. I think Canva is like a basic visual design tool that, it's something that I believe you should, um, you know, get to look at and see how it works. For Adobe Spark and Figma, these are really, really complex too. But for now, I think sticking with Canva, would be actually great. I think in one of my classes, I walked you through Canva. Now, Canva, not Canvas, which is your elements. I want to actually point this out. Canva, I walked you around Canva and how what Canva can be used for. Consider consider hiring a professional designer or photographer for higher quality visuals. Now, this is very important. So you can maintain the quality of your images and then still maintain your perception as a brand. So we'll be going for a break basically, and this is 8 p.m. And when we return, we're going to continue on this topic where we're learning how we can inculcate certain strategies to create engaging content. Hello guys, you're welcome back from the break. You're welcome back. You're welcome back. You're welcome back. I hope you are done with your attendance. So I will pick up right where I left off. And just as we do this regularly, by 8:30 I will take your questions and other contents that you have. So I'll share my screen right away. So we stopped at creating engaging captions. Captions are just as important as visuals. They provide context and encourage interaction. So you really need to get creative with your captions because they are really important. So you need to ensure that your captions are engaging and your caption basically gets people to engage with your content. Okay, so now you need to make sure that you stick to your brand voice and how your brand is being perceived because your brand has an image. So if you use so if as a brand, at some point you inculcate humor into your content, you can have that on your captions. If you stick with formal based content where there is less humor in your content, you want to ensure that your caption basically sticks to that format. So let's actually move down. Keep it short and sweet. Long captions can overwhelm. Keep them concise. So you don't want to have a video of about 3 minutes and then you have a very long caption. Your video is supposed to basically capture majority of the things that you want on your caption. So you want to keep your caption really short and descriptive, straight to the point and concise, while your video gets to do all of the talking. Now, include a call to action. So, if on the video you want them to take certain action, you should include it. If you want them to like, if you want them to share, if you want them to take any form of action, you can do that on your video and you can also highlight that on your caption too. Um, Share stories that connect emotionally with your audience. Now, on your video, you can inculcate some form of captions if you want to inculcate certain videos, like some content we get to see online where you see some funny clips in between. So if that's something that portrays your brand, you can get it in. If it's not, just stick to creating normal content. Now use emoji. Emoji can break up text and add personality, but don't overdo it. So emojis, people get to like how it looks, how casual it gets, when you have it on your content. So you need to make sure that you do not overuse it. You just want to make sure that you just want to make sure that you don't overuse it basically. Now hashtags, you use relevant hashtags for discoverability, but don't spam them. This is really easy and intuitive. Use a conversational tone and language that resonates with your audience. Now this is where your copywriting skills get to come in. So when it comes to what do we talk about? Yeah, crafting engaging captions. You want to make sure that your tone is conversational and it drives people to engage. So you can use tools like Caption Generator to optimize your hashtag. So most of the times, what I do is that when I want to share some posts regarding on certain topics, I could just use tools like Caption Generator to generate tools that are related to my industry, and then I select certain ones and use. So instead of trying to think about these hashtags at the top of my head, I just use these tools to help me find out relevant hashtags and their search volumes and then use it. Leverage user generated content. We've actually spoken about UGC. User generated content is authentic and can build trust with your audience. It actually increases reposts where you can share your customers' photo, review, or testimonial. Challenges and contests encourage followers to create content using your product. So If you realize there are some brands that engage in challenge, tell you to engage in certain challenge in a month, and then they select a winner where you create content with their product. Now, this is also a way, they get to promote their product and get it to the faces of a lot of people. Here, you can also partner with influencers to get your product or your services in the faces of people. Now, when it comes to partnering with influencers, you need to basically consider a lot of things. First, you need to make sure that the influencer is in your niche. The target audience can be found amongst their followers. It's very important. So, if you are in the beauty space, you would want to get influencers who create beauty based content because they have people who are interested in that kind of content. So, it's important. So here for action, you create a branded hashtags that collect UGC, reach out to satisfied customers for testimonials or reviews. Now implement interactive content. Now we've actually spoken about this basically initially where we spoke about polls and quizzes, contests and giveaways. I think this is what's just different from what we have talked about initially. Content and giveaways are very important. It's a way to drive engagement. People like free things basically. So, you want to get them to engage with your content and get them to take certain action. That way, you are promoting your business to a lot of people. So, in this regards, you want to use platforms like Instagram stories, Facebook posts, LinkedIn to create interactive posts. And you can use tools like Typeform or SurveyMonkey to build quizzes. Now, these are tools for Typeform. I don't know if you have seen it on the website, but then a lot of businesses use Typeform. You can search for it online, Typeform. You can customize your Typeform and then you collect certain responses. So when someone gets to your website and you want to qualify them, they get to fill out their information. You can ask them for their first name, their second name, what are they interested in. So if you sell male fashion products and female fashion products, you can use that form to basically qualify them. So they have now on your type form, you're going to display this option, and then the visitor gets to choose if he is interested in male clothing or the other way around. Now, what this does is it helps you to collect specific information and saves you a lot of time. So when you finally get the response on your inbox at the back end, a good you already have good information of what that customer is looking for. That's how you can use a tool like Typeform. For SurveyMonkey, as the name implies, you can use this to carry out surveys. Businesses do this a lot. So after a service, they could tell you to rate their service delivery. Some businesses even go as far as sending you emails to your inbox. I believe I've received um, survey emails from brands I use a lot. I think I've received emails like this from Jumia, rate our service. Would you recommend our service to other businesses? Now, these are questions they ask you in the survey so they can rate their, their customer, how well they are able to please their customer, how well they are able to deliver their services. Now, these are things that really, really come in handy. Post consistently and optimize timing. Now, this is very important. Once you have your engaging content, you want to make sure that you are posting consistently. Consistency is key to building a loyal following. Post regularly and at times when your audience is most active. Frequency: each platform has an ideal posting frequency. Example: 1 to 2 posts per day on Instagram, 1 post per day on LinkedIn. So this depends on your frequency. Now, if you want to go more, if you want to share more posts, it depends on you. But the fact is, the more posts you share, the more relevant you become, basically. So if you are sharing a lot of posts, what this means is that you are going to be on the faces of a lot of people. That's basically what it is. You're going to be in the faces of a lot of people. And what this means is that people will get to see your brand, they get to see your content, and subconsciously just they find a way to register your business in their head because of how often you have been giving out value to them. So even if they are not interested, because of how often they get to see your content, they consume it, they see the value you offer, they will get to take notes on. They will get to take notes of which brand is sharing this sort of value and what this brand does. For timing, so first of all, you need to test different times to see what works best. So for Instagram, you can test when I think Instagram has an option where you can check how many of your followers are actually active online. I think I've seen someone spoken about that. So that way you know when is the best time to share, when most of, or more than half of your followers are active. That way they can see it and interact with your post. Now, for actions, you can use scheduling tools like Hootsuite, Buffer, or Later to automate posting. Now, these are social media management tools that would help you to automatically share your content on various social media accounts. Experiment with different times and review results using analytics. So you need to test out times and basically review the results. Now analyze your performance and optimize. Now this is very important, because after you have created your content strategy, you want to analyze and see if it's working. If you are able to register a lot of engagement on your content, it's very important. So this is the stage where you go to analyze after you have started sharing your content. Once your content is live, track its performance to see what's working and what needs improvement. So it's a continuous process. For engagement rates, you want to track likes, comments, shares, and click-through rates. You want to see which post had the most like, had the most comment, had the most shares. When did you share this post? What is it related to? What did you talk about? All of these things are things that you can track, and you can um, jot this down and see how you can pull out a pattern from this. Because if that works, then if you create similar content along that line, you will be able to pull in that much engagement as the first time. So reach an impression. Measure how many people see your posts. Conversions. If your goal is to drive traffic or sale, track website visits, signups, or purchases. Now it could be that you have the right form of content, but you are not attracting the right leads to your website. So you might need to work on a strategy on how you can get a lot of leads to your website to come and see your offer, or to come and see. So if you have an offer on your website, or you have a blog post with a form, you can drive a lot of traffic to that website using paid ads, and then you can determine your conversion. If you were not able to ascertain your conversion rate, you can drive in a lot of traffic. That way you can ascertain what your conversion rate would be like. So use platform specific analytics tool like Facebook Insight, Instagram Insight, or third party tools like Google Analytics to gain insights on the analytics. For Facebook and Instagram, they have their native tool for insights. While for your website, you have to use a tool like Google Analytics, to gain insights on how many people got to your website. For form submission, you can see that on your backend. Well, Google Analytics gives you a holistic view of how many people came to your website, how long did they spend on your website, and a couple of this information. Here it says adjust your content strategy based on performance metrics. So this is easy based on what you discover. You can now adjust your content. Now stay current with trends. Social media is constantly evolving, so it's essential to stay up to date with latest trends and algorithm changes. Social media challenges. Participate in viral challenges that aligns with your brand. Now this is important, that aligns with your brand. You do not just jump on any challenge because it's what's on board. It should align with your brand. It's very important. Um, Trending hashtags. Use trending hashtags when relevant to increase visibility. This is very important. Very important. Um, New features. So you can leverage new platform features like Instagram Reels or LinkedIn Stories. Now, new features are coming out regularly. Okay, I think on LinkedIn now has stories, or LinkedIn now has a section where you can share video-based content. Initially, LinkedIn wasn't like that, and for Instagram, there was a point where if you want to really get exposure on Instagram, you use Reels. Pardon me, you use hashtags. But now you need to create reels videos because Instagram likes this and their algorithm favors this kind of content, so you need to know this and act accordingly. Follow industry blogs, social media experts, and other platform updates to stay informed. Yeah, so if you are in a certain industry, you want to make sure that you are following you are active on industry news, blogs, and on platforms that has information about your industry, so you can stay informed and act accordingly. It's very important, so you can stay on trend and you can stay relevant, basically. So your competitor doesn't get ahead of you because they are informed about what's on board and they are able to act as swiftly as possible. Now, in conclusion, creating engaging social media content is an ongoing process of understanding your audience, creating appealing visuals, and constantly posting with the right strategy in place. By following these steps and continuously refining your approach, you can build a strong social media presence that drives engagement and achieves your objective. Now, it just tells you that this is a continuous process. Okay, you have to keep redefining, see what's working, what's trending in the industry, what is gaining traction. All of these things are things that you need to keep an eye for, and you get to optimize your content, based on all of this information, so you can stay relevant and you can stay in business. So this is where we will be stopping by. Tomorrow we will look at content for B2B versus B2C. B2B, business to business, business to customer. We're going to be looking at this by tomorrow. So at this point, we're done with our topic for today. So how can we create a website? So at this point, I'll be taking your questions. Please, if you have any question regarding to the topic for today, it should be pretty much easy for you to understand, considering the previous lessons that we have taken. All of the things that you've learned. You see on this session for today is just basically um, it's basically just trying to help you reiterate on the things that we have learned and all. Someone says, please explain the 80-20 rule. So what you should do is basically, I would recommend you carry out more research on it. But then simply what it means is that you should not just focus on selling, 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 selling. You should focus on offering value. Now, the best salesperson or sales or business generally do not just focus on selling, they focus on solving a problem. And your content, 80% of your content should be about solving problems. Your content should be about solving problems. So if you're able to solve the problems of people, see, naturally they would want to give you their money, basically. So that's the thing. If you are offering value, people get to look at the value that you're offering instead of the money that they are actually paying you. You see businesses that offer certain services and you see customers rushing to give them their money, because they see the value that this business is actually offering. So now that's basically what the 80-20 rule is. You don't want to bore people about. So that's why, initially we spoke about understanding your audience. Now, the fact is, nobody actually cares about you as a business owner. Your customers or the people online do not really care about you. They care about themselves. And the best way for you to get them to give you their money is to actually talk about them, talk about their problems. That's when they are going to pay a lot of attention. Yeah, so that's basically what it means. So if you are talking about them, they'll pay attention to your content, consume it, and get to take desired action in order to get the results that they desire. I hope that is understood. Here's my question: for defining your objective, can one pick one objective at a time, or one monthly fixed plan, or whether second month sales? Yeah, of course. Florence asked the question for defining your objective. Okay, I think there is a question above first. Sebastian, I run a cake and pastry business. Am I supposed to be posting only cakes and pastries related content on my social media? So for bakery business, if you run a cake and pastry business, now this will require you to take out time to brainstorm and get to understand the kind of content that you should be sharing on your page. Now, one of the ways you can do it, you can get overwhelming if you're doing it all by yourself. What you can do is that you can look for people in that industry and see what they are actually sharing, what is pulling the most engagement. If they are sharing videos on their process, on how they bake their cake, on how they design their cake. It could be very fast, but basically what they are doing, they are actually showing people that they are the one actually doing this, showing their process. Now people get to believe and trust what you're doing, and then when they see the final outcome, they are now pushed to want to take action. So now someone asked a question for defining your objective. Can one pick one objective at a time? First one to increase brand awareness, second one sales, and so on. Yeah, for a new brand, one of the first things you should be doing is brand awareness, because people one of the things that people look out for before they make any purchase is a trust. Now, brand awareness will help you to establish trust because people want to be sure that they are transacting business with a legit business. So you want to ensure that first you are able to increase brand awareness. How are you able to do this? By sharing educational based content, by by talking about your industry. Doing this, you are showing your audience that you have experience on. You are showing your audience that you have a lot of experience in that space. So then for the second month, you can now basically focus on sales and still um, you can now start trying to promote your product and sell while you still create valuable content. Remember, I spoke about the 20/80 rule where you focus on creating more informational and value based content, and then you create a bit of sales content. For those who haven't submitted your assignment, of course you can redo it. It's very important. It's for your good basically, because by doing it you get first-hand experience, which is very important. Someone is asking which platform is best for business management to company, please. Now, when it comes to platforms, there are a lot of platforms out there. So what you can do is that you can use Google to search, and basically you get to see a lot of tools and their features. And with this, you can now come up with a conclusion on which of them to use. And how does algorithm works? Now, algorithm is basically a written instruction. It has to do with it's more technical. Okay, it has to do with the technical aspect of an application where it just basically tells you how the system or how the backend operates. Yeah, so algorithms are written to control the system, the backend of the system. So how can you add please, how can you add members to your Trello board? So if you watch the replay of the class from last 2 weeks, I think so, last 2 weeks, you're going to see how that is done. So please, I recommended that you should watch. I recommended that you watch that video more than once, because most times it can be really overwhelming if you want to digest all of these things at once. But once you go back to it, a lot of these things basically start to make sense. So please go back to that video and watch it. It's really going to help you. UGC, I have spoken about UGC. I'm not expecting you to ask me a question on UGC. And UGC simply means user generated content. I've spoken about UGC way before now, and even though I haven't, but I think I mentioned it. So yeah, it should be something you can actually grasp at the spot. But UGC simply means user generated content. Now you can see businesses out there that request reviews from their clients. So for businesses, let's say they sell they sell certain products that has to do with skincare, that treats properly some skin related issues. So they can ask their customers to create videos. I spoke about how convincing it is where you see someone who has a similar issue, just like you, and the person is talking about how a certain product has helped him or her. Now it helps you to basically increase your conviction that if it works for this person who is like me, it will certainly work for me as well. For caption generation, yeah, it's actually a tool. So once you just go on Google and search, you're going to see a lot of tools. So you can just check them, basically trying out and explore. There are a lot of things that you would find that will be beneficial to you. Seriously. Can content be produced on the basis of learning particular interest? Yeah, of course. Someone is asking, can content be produced on the basis of learning a particular interest and showing the gradual process? Of course, you get to see people create create content on Instagram. They get ready with me thing. It's you. It's basically them showing you a certain process. I made an illustration about a baker, someone who bakes, and how the person can capture their process, how they are probably cutting the butter, how they are taking the cake out of the oven, and you get to see this form of content from food content creators where they teach you how to create certain meals and whatnot. So these are ways that businesses are able to show people how they are able to achieve certain results, and this now serves as a form of content. Um, y- my question is the use of Loom. Are we to use Loom to explain how we use Trello? Yeah, I actually explained that at the beginning of this class. Please watch it, and yeah, you get to understand it better. Can LinkedIn platform work for film industry, or it's only used for business? Well, film industry is also a business. There are a lot of people you can connect with on LinkedIn, so it's great. If you have your profile on LinkedIn, you will be surprised. Businesses that are on LinkedIn that you as a business, as a music brand can connect with on LinkedIn and get to interact. Someone says explain UGC. I said it's user generated content. It's simple. It's the content that your customer generates for a business. That's what user generated content is. And you can go online and search about it. You're going to see a lot of answers. You're going to see a lot of videos about it. It's more like me giving a testimonial video, or where you are now giving a testimonial video about this program, how it has helped you to gain digital skill. Now, this is you creating a user generated content. How can you generate leads for a business? There are quite a number of ways you can generate leads from your business. You can do this using inbound marketing. You can do this using inbound marketing, and inbound marketing generally means you creating content that will attract people to your business. Now, all of the things that we have been talking about here falls under inbound content. When you're talking about creating videos, creating social media posts, all of these are value-based content that attracts people to your brand. Now, this is inbound-based content. It takes time, but you really get people would who will engage with your content. So if I don't know if you have come across some post on Instagram where you get someone who speaks about something and he says if you want a playbook on how to achieve this. So let me try and give a really clear example. So you can get someone who says, hey, I have this cheat sheet. It gives you all it actually highlights all the steps that are involved in creating a custom social media calendar for a cleaning business. It has all of the strategies and tools. If you want this, comment the word cleaning and I'm going to send it to you. Now, this is also a way that people generate leads, or you can use paid ads. So those are ways that people use to generate leads. These steps now Does these steps also apply to content that are not selling, just or just making random videos of your day or talking about yourself? Now, there's always a goal, actually. There's always a goal for someone who is creating any form of content. So if you are talking about yourself, it's either you want to build a personal brand. So there's always a goal, basically. To go here, I've explained UGC countless. I've explained it countless times. How can you infuse humor in actual educational content? Now, this is where your creativity has to come into play. This is where your creativity has to come into play. And you also need to understand if this is part of the company's culture. Okay, you need to understand this before you, and even if it's not, there are ways you can actually infuse it into your content, but you make it really subtle. So these are things that it's for a business. It's not, if it's your business, then it's something you can decide. But if you're working for an organization, you need to get approval. See, I'm a fashion designer. I only post content about my skills every Monday, but there are limited URLs. I post content about my skills. Now, when you say you post content about your skills, I really do not know what that means. But one of the best ways to understand what works is to check out other people in your space. What kind of content are they sharing? Is it gaining traction? Once you have this information, you can basically reiterate and add, just make a bit of difference, to just help you stand out. Now, these are ways you can also stay relevant as well. It's okay to see what your competitors are doing and mimic it. It's basically okay. Because how do I create awareness for myself when I do not have a good phone for recording videos and all? Well, you'd have to figure out a way to do that. And if that is not possible at the moment, you can resort to using just visuals for your content. Someone is asking me, how do you know your target audience? I spoke about this, so I would not react to this. Go and watch the previous videos. I spoke about your target audience, how to identify them, and certain things or certain information that can help you identify them. So please look at the previous videos. Now, some questions that you're asking, sometimes I start to wonder if you've not been attending my classes. Now, someone is asking, please, which app can I use to narrate my stories like in a video form? Now, I'm sure this person didn't do my assignment, because if you did, you wouldn't be asking this question. Now, look at the assignment. You can use Loom, LWM. It's an app that can help you to basically narrate stories in form of a video. App for editing videos, there are quite a number of apps. The basic one I think you should use is CapCut. CapCut is quite basic. There are quite a number of ones that you can edit on your phones. But if you want to go advanced, you'll now be looking at apps like Premiere Pro, Final Cut, and whatnot. So those are more advanced applications. Um, Talking about infusing humor, I spoke about it. I think I'm just seeing some questions that I've answered already. In terms of, someone is asking about Typeform, you can actually check type. You can check Typeform. Just head over to their website. You see all the information that you need. And HubSpot. I know I mentioned it. They have a couple of free features. You can check if you can create a blog. But I think the free features that are available on HubSpot are basically around sending out a few emails and A few things. I'm not sure you can create a blog from HubSpot with a free plan. Not so sure. Yeah, use Loom to explain your assignments and your process. How can you generate leads for your business? Adela Mary, like I said, you can do it organically or you can use paid ads. So if you have used editing tools like CapCut, you see that once you upload your video there, it actually has different editing features, and on these features, you can automatically help you to generate captions, and what you just need to do is make edits to it. Let me make sure. Now, someone is asking about KPIs, key performance indicators. How do we measure them according to the content produced? Are they measured in percentages and numbers? Most importantly, how are they measured? Now, if you go to your Instagram account and share a post on your feed, you can see info about that food. You can see the analytics, how you can see how many people viewed your video. Now, that's how you can also gain insights. So, all of this application, they have various dashboards and certain information that they display based on your content. So once you look at it, you get to find out every information that you need. Yeah, adding people to the board on Trello, it's great. Probably you didn't add them well because if you add their actual email, Trello is going to send them an invite, and with that invite, they will get an account on Trello. Now, caption generator. What is caption basically? Caption basically indicates so we can look at caption in quite a number of ways. It could be the subtitle on your videos, and it could also be, just like we know with the caption on your post where you are giving more insight about what you do. So it's an app actually, so you can search for it on Google. You get a lot of information about it and other alternatives that you can use. I think we'll get to that point actually. We get to that point where someone is asking about platforms where they can get jobs and where they can implement the skills. We'll get to that point. What's important now is to hone the skills because if you do not have the skills, you literally do not have anything to offer in that marketplace. And I can tell you for sure that it's really, really competitive. I can tell you for sure. For one, because I'm there, I know how competitive it is. So it's important for you to hone these skills and ensure that it's one of your forte. Then it's easier for you to get jobs, on this space. Ugochi, the kind of questions you ask at times, I don't know, but some of these questions are questions you can easily get answers on your own. Now, it's important that you know how to search for answers. Okay, it's important that you know how to search for answers. Not everything you ask me here. There are certain things that you can be intuitive about. You can make research about them and get your answers. Yes, it's a learning process and it's going to help you a lot because the fact is you won't really get anyone who is going to spoon feed you throughout the process. You need to understand the basics and get to understand how you can find answers. It's very important. You need to be intuitive. You need to be really, really intuitive because um, the space is really, really competitive, I must tell you. So you need to be intuitive, know how to find certain answers. And when it gets to a point where there are questions that are really, really technical, you can bring them to my table and I'll gladly answer them. So for Lauren, she says her device isn't compatible with Loom. What can I do? It cuts after I recorded 5. Now, how Loom works is Loom, at the moment, you are on a free plan on Loom, and Loom basically allows you to record 5 minutes on their free plan. You get an extension when you pay for a premium plan. So that's why I said you should summarize your video to 5 minutes. I know because I've used this app, I've used the premium plan, and I know how it works. So that's why I recommended that you make it 5 minutes long. And most times, if you open a free account, you would be given access to free trial where you can record as much videos as you want. But afterwards, you have to pay in order to. You have to pay actually in order to get that leverage to use as much space as you want. For Precious, I think it's your phone, yeah, or your network, or else I think it should work well. The Precious that says she downloads, but it's not actually giving her what she wants. For your assignment, don't worry. The facilitators and the teaching assistants, we're going to look at it basically, and we're going to grade them accordingly. We're going to grade them accordingly. Use the laptop. Uh, okay, so Lauren says she wants to start a Twitter channel where she talks about her process. Please give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. So you can basically do that. So a lot of people who I've seen doing this, what they basically do is that they share their journey on, how they started, what they have been doing, what they have learned so far, their experiences. So they are basically documenting their journey on these platforms. So I think I see a lot of people do it, which I think it's a great way to begin your journey. It gets to inspire other people, and it helps to inspire other people, and it actually helps you to stay focused because you are now able to track your progress on this platform. Okay, someone says she's the one that did the video. Well, I already used that to illustrate it, and that was really nice. That was really nice. Well done. I really appreciate the effort. Now, as we are taking questions, I want to point this out. So I want to point this out. Based on how the classes went, I want to announce that the class for content writing basically won the best teaching assistant for the week. So your teaching assistant, um, Adewale, and I think someone from project management. You guys actually did a great job. So we want to commend the students. Please keep reaching out to your teaching assistants. You guys, your efforts was actually recognized. So please collaborate with your teaching assistant. That way, we can learn a lot more better, and the goal of this program can be achieved. Yeah. So great job, guys. Great job. Great job, guys. Great job. So please, more questions. We have about 10 more minutes to go. Let me know if you have more questions. If you don't have any, we can basically call it a day. Thank you all. Thank you all. Have any questions? We can call it a day. Yeah, I can see your congratulatory messages. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, please, I want to recommend as much as you can go back to these videos and watch them. I know why I am emphasizing on this because majority of the time it can be a lot. When you are consuming new information at the go, it can be a lot. So I recommend that you go back to your closet and watch these videos once more. I can tell you for sure that a couple of things that didn't make sense at first will start to make sense. It will start to make sense. So please do so. Your questions, please. If you don't have any questions, I would be. Now, someone said that she has issue with the audio. Now, if you are on a computer system, depending on your operating system, if it's Windows or Mac, now it will require you to select a mic. So you need to select a microphone in order for you to record. Okay, so it's very important that you select a mic. So let me see if I can illustrate that on my system right here pretty fast. Do I have Loom here? Okay, great. I think I have Loom here. So let me share my screen. So most times you'll be required to select your microphone and your camera. So if you do not select this, it won't work. So you need to make sure that this is selected so it works. You need to select it so it works. So let me share my screen quite fast. And after this, we'll be ending the class basically because I can see there are no questions. So this is my Loom app. This is what my Loom apps looks like. So if I want only camera, my FaceTime, this is my mic. As you can see, it is picking up the frequency. So you can see this is Sebastian's mic and this is the default mic. If I do not want sound, I'll just click on this. You can see it's not picking up any form of vibration. So this is how you can basically configure your Loom app to select the camera that you want. Yeah, basically. So this is how you can work around the settings here. So thank you all for today's class, and do have a good night's rest, and we'll continue from where we stopped tomorrow. Good night.